All right, good evening. My name is Maggie Collister and I'm a project analyst with Sterling Advisory Services. We are a sister company to the brokerage that provides valuations, feasibility studies, and market reviews for a wide range of clients, including developers, investors, planners, and banks. So tonight I'm here to share some insights on short-term rentals, and what we've seen is these are popping up more and more in the valuations that we do. So I'm going to kick this off with an informal poll. So I'm going to give you guys a hypothetical situation, or maybe it's something that you're really in the middle of. You are planning for your spring break and need to find a place to stay. So how many of you, the first place you go is you hit up the Airbnb or VRBO site looking for a guest house? So if you could just raise your hand. That's good. So that's a solid 25% of you. So how many of you go looking at hotels? Maybe you do the Hilton website or Four Seasons or just hotels.com. So we got our team hotel. All right. And then lastly, so we've got about half of you guys left. Lastly, how many of you travel with your own place to stay? So maybe you hook up your RV or you get out your tent. Oh, the man in the back, you have some passion for that. So any more RV people? All right. Be proud. All right, so STRs have become really popular across the city of Missoula. Missoula's busy tourism season, concerts and sporting events, relocations, business travelers are driving demand for short-term rentals. Now, get you to our next slide here. For property owners, short-term rentals can make a property cash flow without the commitment of a long-term lease. In the table, you'll see that in Missoula, the average one-bedroom short-term rental can be expected to bring in $34,000 a year in gross income, which is about 133% higher than you can expect to get from an average one-bedroom apartment in today's market. Note that I have not yet factored in any expenses. Now, for operators, the downside to the short-term rentals are indeed the higher management costs. So you're going to be paying out someone to either manage that for you, or that's going to be your time and effort to manage that unit. The other issue is that tourism can be a fickle market. Stretch of bad weather, down economy, bad review, event canceled, that can leave your property vacant unexpectedly. So the other thing that is important to recognize that STRs are indeed a part of the hospitality industry. So owners or their management companies need to be responsive to guest needs. And I know Claire mentioned this about part of the housing market, but it's really not just being a landlord, it's being an innkeeper. You're entering the hospitality business with hotels. You have guests, not tenants. So they're a little bit more high maintenance, so there's that. So, and as that meme kind of alludes, a lot of people don't often get the good customer service experience from an Airbnb. And the last issue with Airbnbs is that in some communities, they're not always beloved by your neighbors, and a lot of people are really concerned that it's taking housing away for residents. So there's a pretty big downside to Airbnbs for the community. And I know that kind of goes back and forth, but they also are a great place to provide short-term housing for people, and so they do have their advantages. So now we're going to get into some numbers. We work with a data provider called Airbnb for our short-term rental data. They estimate that the city of Missoula has approximately 724 active rentals in the market. This number has grown by about 32% in the past 12 months. And what you'll notice with their data is the number of units active really oscillates throughout the year, so people take them on and off the market quite frequently. We are seeing the highest concentration of units in the 59801 zip code, which includes the university area in Midtown. So you can kind of see that concentration on the map. In 2023, we expect that more short-term rental units may come online, especially if the apartment market becomes more competitive. landlords faced with vacant units may turn to short-term rentals to keep cash flowing. However, what was once an easy transition has now become more difficult. In February, the city of Missoula passed a new fee schedule for short-term rental owners. They will now pay a one-time registration fee of $555 per unit, plus an additional yearly fee of $206. This does not include the required business licenses and fee for a health inspection. So these new fees may deter people from quietly kind of trying out the concept, because now there's a barrier to entry. So I'm going to get into some performance metrics here and occupancy rates. So the average occupancy rate for 2022 was 64%. This is down about 7% from 2021, which indicates some softening in demand. If you'll look at the chart, you'll see the occupancy rates in Missoula are seasonally driven. Typically, demand peaks in about July. People love to come here in the summer, and bottoms out in January. The occupancy rate for July 2022 was 89%, so they were pretty full through that month. So this next slide is our average daily rate, so what you can expect to get in terms of rent for your unit. The average daily rate for 2022 was up 19% over 2021. The highest rate increases were seen among 2-bedroom units that have an average daily rate of $184. Now you'll note that the rates will depend on the quality of the unit, location, management type, so that's all pretty what people would think of. One thing that's happening with this industry is they're getting more sophisticated pricing models. So they now have on-demand pricing models where the individual manager can adjust prices around events. And so it's getting more and more sophisticated, the tools that they have to use. And if you'll note that the ADRs for short-term rental units do include those cleaning fees. So what's happening is that the hotel industry kind of got hit a little hard through COVID, but they came out swinging. Hotel development is really high across the US right now. There's a lot of hotels opening. Missoula is seeing hotels opening. Hotels like the Wren in downtown, they offer competitive rates, really stylish room designs and concierge services. We're also anticipating the new Lodge Hotel that's over off West Broadway, and they're digging in with the cool adventure concept for Missoula with outdoor guides, use of local products. And additionally, many of the hotel operators are investing in their staff. They're creating career paths that are going to limit turnover and ultimately create a better experience for guests. So with more unique experiences and better services, your traditional hotel operators are trying to pull back some market share from the short-term rentals by providing a really great experience and really doubling down on hospitality versus just trying to compete on price. So for short-term operators, bookings in 2023, I think you may see them slow. And what this is that as more apartments are opening, business from the longer-term guests who use short-term rentals while they waited for other housing are going to drop off. So when people move here now, they can move right into their apartment. They don't need an Airbnb for a month or two. And the other thing you're going to see in 2023 is that due to rising labor costs, you're going to see your expenses go up, and you'll also see those new fees kick in, so they'll get a little bit more expensive to operate. So the takeaway is that operating STRs can be a profitable business, particularly an attractive market like Missoula. However, it definitely takes some effort to manage the units well, and a hospitality mindset is really necessary.